The John Siegenthaler Bridge is one of Nashville's best pieces of pedestrian infrastructure. But man, it could be better. What if instead of looking like this, it looked like that? Since becoming car-free in 2003, the bridge has become both an iconic location for its downtown views and a critical connection across the Cumberland. And unlike a lot of infrastructure downtown, the bridge is just as valuable to Nashvillians as it is to visitors. If you're heading to an event at Bridgestone, Ascend, or the Ryman, it's often cheapest to park across the river and walk over the bridge. And taking it back downtown after a Titans game or concert can be an easier way to get an Uber home than dealing with stadium traffic. Before we think about how it might be improved, let's look at how the pedestrian bridge works today. On the downtown side, the bridge connects to the sidewalk on 3rd Avenue South, right across from the Symphony. You can also take stairs or the elevator up from 2nd Avenue. Along the way, you might notice that some of the new Sobro high-rises have built connections directly to the bridge, which is pretty cool. The bridge then continues up and over the Cumberland, widening out in the middle with some spots to sit and take in panoramic views of the river and Nashville skyline. It's definitely a popular spot for photos, proposals, and performers. After crossing the bridge, you reach another set of stairs and an elevator, which takes you down to Wasiota Park. Since no one lives around here right now, it's usually a quiet spot. But it's really pretty nice, and it's definitely going to blow up as more housing gets built as part of the East Bank plan. If instead you continue along the bridge, you'll eventually get dumped out in the middle of the Nissan Stadium parking lots, making it easy to get to your car or into an event. From a functionality perspective, this is all pretty good. The biggest issue is probably that the downtown side dead ends into a road with no cycling infrastructure, despite the fact that the bridge is meant as a major cycling thoroughfare. The big problem with the pedestrian bridge is the feel of walking across it. It's about as utilitarian as possible, which isn't surprising given that it's repurposing a 100-plus-year-old piece of infrastructure. I mean, just look at all this concrete. There's not a scrap of shade in sight, nor much visual variety as you walk along. The sidewalks are broken up by things like benches, trash cans, and these funny concrete pillars, but the middle is just a big open expanse of concrete. Ostensibly, this center part is kept open as a cycleway, but I suspect it's really to enable vehicle access. If even our best pedestrian areas need to allow uninterrupted access for vehicles, we're never going to create spaces that really feel good to actually spend time in. One cool option for adding some shade would be to utilize the trusses across the middle of the bridge. I'm no artist, but I bet you could create something that was both fun to look at and cast a nice shadow during the hottest part of the day. Really though, what this area needs are some plants. Trees along the walkway would provide much needed shade, while also softening the concrete jungle appearance, while planters could add some additional variety. Here's a schematic drawing showing the current cross-section, with two 10-foot sidewalks surrounding a 15-foot center lane. If we cut that center lane down to 10 feet, or about the same width as a downtown lane, we make room for trees lining the sidewalks. Or, by also narrowing the sidewalks a little bit, we could add in some planters too. With a little image generation, we can envision what something like this might look like in real life. That's definitely somewhere I'd like to visit. And this isn't just an AI-fueled dream. Here's a photo from New York's High Line. It's not exactly the same setup or purpose as Nashville's pedestrian bridge, but it's another century-old piece of elevated infrastructure. The lushness of the greenery makes all the difference, especially against the starkness of the urban design around it. With the Cumberland flowing beneath it, I think the pedestrian bridge would feel even more welcoming than the High Line. This is the perfect time to make these sorts of improvements, because the bridge is about to become massively more important to Nashville's downtown core. As the new Nissan Stadium is completed and development of the East Bank continues, the pedestrian bridge will become the backbone connecting downtown and the East Bank. TPAC is considering a site directly adjacent to the bridge for its new location, and early renderings show the pedestrian bridge expanding into a plaza when it reaches TPAC, and even being extended farther into the East Bank. If you squint, you can see that early plans call for this new part of the bridge to be lined with trees, exactly as I'm proposing. But this shouldn't be restricted only to the new construction. The bridge deserves this treatment along its entire extent, and we need to remind city leaders how great this area could be. Thanks for watching.